All right, Scott, let's go venturing through the galaxy. All right, Scott, so you and I jumped into a new space sim. It's called Rebel Galaxy Outlaws. You are a huge fan of this.
Yes, so this is exactly my kind of game.
Yeah.
I love Elite Dangerous and space as a topic, space simulator games, anything like that I love to get my hands on. So this was exactly my kind of game. Now, I jumped into it, and a lot of things hit me right off the start. So it's a little bit different than the typical kind of realistic look.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a different feel.
It's got its own unique art style, right?
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, it reminds me of a Beyond Good and Evil kind of character, kind of look.
Yeah,
the way
like
the
Jade
crafts
from
are
Beyond
created.
Good and Evil?
Yeah, it almost looks like the same character too, funny enough.
Yeah, you know, good point.
This game blew me away with the way this character is introduced. So they want to put you in the seat of that character. You're going through her story, you're meeting her old contacts and her old friends, and you're just being a rebel in the galaxy. Or you can be a cop in the galaxy. There's choices.
Well, okay, so when the game started, you know, the feel I got was Full Throttle, that old point and click adventure game, right? Because that's how you start, is you're just kind of pointing and clicking around. I was expecting my character to move.
Yeah, that's
my character does not. My character is stationary, and that is it. And I was kind of thrown off by that because you don't see a lot of that stuff anymore in these days, moving forward in such a genre. Things have really changed the scope of how a game was played way back when we were talking about Full Throttle and those point and click, because that's how this is started. But the presentation of how it was brought was really cool because it gives this new modern twist, but yet with an old art style thrown in sometimes with a digital effect, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was cool.
But the lights of the lasers going off and the engines and the trail, there was a lot of detail put into the small little visual cues in this game.
Absolutely.
That kind of make it stand out beyond just the cartooniness of it.
Yep.
Now that cartooniness doesn't bother me at all,
No,
even
not at
though
all.
I'm more of a fan of the simulator kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And what held me especially into the simulator stuff is the depth of all these environments you're going around. So there's a bunch of these asteroid fields. It looks like that's where people are kind of living now. Some of them, like one's called Texas, one's called Mississippi, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you're hopping around these old kind of American sites and checking out all this space debris, all these different space stations, all these different kind of factions that are infighting.
But for me, getting into the game, I was so lost, so confused as to what I was supposed to do, because the tutorial in here is pretty well non-existent.
Not much, no.
Right? There's nothing really there to show you what to do. You start talking to this one guy, and then from there, I'm like, what do I do now? I had no idea what to do. No clue, no sense of direction. From a point-and-click adventure game where everything's stationary, there's still no guidance as to where I'm supposed to be going. So I'm kind of just flipping through all the menus and looking around where to go. Eventually I kind of clue in and figure out where I'm supposed to be venturing off to.
They don't do a huge job of guiding you, no. So I get the feeling that they want to drop you in this open world and kind of let you go one direction or another.
Which is fine.
Which is fine if they at least taught you how to do it. So the tutorial was really non-existent. And I really only did so well because of my past experience with these kind of games.
And that's just it.
And that was really difficult to kind of get a new player into it.
But I'm the new guy, so what do? Scott, what the hell am I supposed to do? Because I'm just blank, right? And that was so frustrating because it really drew me in from the minute the game started. I thought, man, this is cool. So I got so many options, but the depth behind the game, but without being explained how to go about doing any of this stuff, I really didn't kind of get into the game as much as I really wanted to, because I had no sense of direction of how to do it all.
Well,
it was frustrating.
They start you with this really bad ship with these really bad weapons, and
of course,
and then only one kind of mission, one direction to go. But if you don't know that that's the waypoint you're supposed to be jumping to, or if you don't know how to jump, that makes the game really difficult to get into. So I can accept that that's really a big hindrance on it. But if you break through that, there's so much detail there that it's hard to not regard this game as just a really big project.
That's fair. Space sim people are gonna love this if you're a fan of that genre. But for me, it came from the perspective of trying to get into the genre, and it really just kind of pushed me out the door.
Now, this game I noticed, because of my past experience with Elite Dangerous, Elite Dangerous had all the same pitfalls and issues with a new fan base, and they've constantly been fighting against that. It's really weird to me that this new game has come out and it doesn't have any of those lessons learned. Because
that's fair.
That's the really big hindrance, is just getting into this game. And unfortunately, it's just a single-player experience, so you're not going to have the community to kind of drive you into where you should be going. Now, I mentioned it's a single-player experience. It's such a big game that it's kind of, I wish there was more that I could do. As big as and complicated as it is, taking all these missions and fighting all these pirates is fun, but I can't do it with a friend. And if I could just jump into your world and show you kind of how to do it, we could have had a much different experience.
It would have been great, because you know what I got? I got ambushed time and time and time again, and then you jump back into another ambush, and I'm just like, man, I gave up. That's where I just reached a point where I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I don't want to get ambushed again.
See, that's the game putting these grind moments in, these credit-earning moments in. But if you're a new player and you don't need the credits, or if you're just trying to advance the storyline,
trying to figure out the game,
it's really complicated. The menu system in this game was also very complicated and did not really lend itself to a new player. Now you have this radial menu when you hit control, and that shows you a lot of your ship's functions and the radio and the map and certain things like that. But you didn't even know to hit control unless you search it up on Google or something.
I had no idea there was a control function whatsoever.
But not only that, you get into that and there's shortcuts for the controls in that function. So it's such a complicated game that it's what a deep thing.
The dev team had a vision, and I think they went so deep in the vision that they forgot all the new people don't understand their vision. That's really bad, because the concept behind the game is fantastic. The audio is one of the best audio, music-wise, from soundtrack to audio cues to the voiceover. Probably one of the best I've heard this year.
Your ship and all the incoming damage, whooshing and whizzing, and the different. There's so many different satellite stations to listen to on the radio that there's something for everybody. And what a world that they made, where there's all these characters and all these different ship types and all these different locations, but it's just under this depth, this huge depth.
And that depth is a huge barrier in this game.
Calm down there. I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding.
All right, Scott, so there's two perspectives on this game. For me, visually, it's fantastic. The score of this game is outstanding. I think the story is there. The complexity of the game is way overwhelming. But if you can figure it out like yourself, then you're into something great here. But for me, it really put more of a hindrance on me, and I'm there with a 6.5.
So that's really unfortunate for me, because I had the flip side of the coin. The experience drove me through this. I opened it like a brand new book, and the storyline being there and the depth of the characters and everything that you're introduced to right off the start. I love it, and it's just game has just so much mass to it. It's hard to encompass it all, and I have to give this one a 9 out of 10. It's almost a perfect experience for me.
Cool.
Rebel Galaxy has heavy storytelling and a great presentation. It's only hindered by its complicated controls and lack of direction.
Missile inbound.
We go now to renew ourselves in the water.
You watch this video. If you want to see a whole lot more videos like this, give us a like and subscribe.